think of the 5 measures, there will be 3 priorities. Number one would be the DND transformation proper, because it's really not a sustainable managerial organization for the 5 agencies under us with the skill sets, the qualifications, with the salary grades, and with the size that we have. So we need an urgent transformation bill to allow us to build an agile organization that will allow us to keep skill sets for attracting the future cadre of civilian specialists that will help the defense ecosystem, manage the defense ecosystem.
Whether the secretary would have a presentation for us to view.
No, ma'am.
You did not prepare any
I
presentation.
did not anymore because
That's
the bill
okay.
is there already.
Because
And we can brief the good senator at her convenient time in detail.
this hard copy, this hard copy was submitted to us. I just wanted to confirm if this is
Yes,
your
ma'am.
presentation.
Yes, ma'am.
So there is no need.
There's no need,
Was
ma'am.
this the hard copy which was shown to me on the slides in the briefing?
Yes, ma'am. And if you remember
Yes.
that it was already filed last sitting of Congress.
Could you kindly explain, Secretary
Ma'am,
Gibo,
right now we have
the transformation
Right.
measure? Thank you.
Right now, we need the civilian expertise to manage the proper sphere of DND activities, which is not in operations, but it is in policy, resource management, planning, and prediction. And it needs a cadre of multidisciplinary specialists. We need to attract the young talent that have career tracks and who will want to join the service. Secondly, we need to attract also those that may not qualify under normal civil service rules and regulations. For example, a hacker. I mean, you can't employ a hacker basically because maybe that person might not have a college degree or may even have fallen afoul of the law. However, rather than leave them out there, we might as well gather them and use the expertise. That's the extreme case. Secondly, the Department of National Defense law was under Commonwealth Act number 1. And our structure then was for a World War II type of scenario. And
Referring to the 1935 and 1987,
292 and yes, ma'am.
1987 was the latest.
And we're not going to be able to be an agile organization that will be able to move with the times, to predict and to hire. Actually, to attract is a very, very big problem because the salary grade levels are very low. And we will have to have speed in hiring and attracting and institute our own processes. Right now, we have an authorized plantilla of 367 people, and we're all overworked. And we can only fill 327. Our fill-up is 267. With a stakeholder base of more than 500,000, it's impossible that we could be able to manage. Even with
Under this, Secretary, how many plantilla are required?
More or less 1,000.
1,000. So from the under 400 plantilla, it will expand to 4,000?
1,000, ma'am. More or less 1,000.
Is DBM here? Wala. O sige. But this will have to be
more or less 1,000, and we can phase it in anyway, depending on the what we want is the notional structure that we need to fill up. Staffing will come after, and DBM will agree because the PS level of this to 1,000 people is quite small compared to what we need in the armed forces. Actually, I'll already break the news that we slowly have to build up our authorized troop strength because we are the lowest second to the lowest per population in Asia, authorized troop strength. Number of men and women in uniform. Vis-a-vis population.
In this DND
No, ma'am, that's a different, that's a
right?
different
Because
thing.
this is the civilian aspect.
The DND transformation is really to pattern it after our counterpart organizations. Those that whom we deal with that have to attract uh, people with higher degree education, specializations. This will also allow us to fund continuing education of our specialists. And that your actually the weakness is, as we know, as we have experienced, political systems are one thing. But if you have a strong bureaucracy, that's your guarantee of continuity of service, etc. And that's what we seek to build. Second, ma'am, would be the amendment of the Espionage and Anti-Foreign Interference Law.
Before we proceed to that, I'd
Yeah.
like to, I agree with you, and I think that the DND transformation proper, the DND proper transformation bill is worthy, of course, of being made a priority.
And we can
I
have
just
an
have-
oversight too.
Yeah, I just have further questions.
Oh,
so
of
that
course,
I,
ma'am, please.
So that I understand it
Yes,
better. First, I filed it, right? It's pending in the committee. Yeah, this is pending, right? Yes. There's one pending. One
Si
pending.
Jinggoy ba yan?
Dito, after the 19th, the 20th Congress, the bills are refiled. So this has never been heard before. It has never been filed before. It is a new measure. May I just know the historical background of this? Is this a DND measure, meaning it originated,
Yes, ma'am.
drafted?
After it was drafted under my guidance.
Okay,
When I
yes,
came from the
yes.
private sector,
Why
we-
did it take so long, Secretary? It's been 3 years since you've been at the helm.
I'm not sure, ma'am, because
But it was
no,
transmitted to the Senate?
yes, because I guess the Senate was also not satisfied because we just gave the mandate to transform on regulations. Maybe the Senate was not satisfied with those parameters.
Yes.
The reason was we went through in the private sector the pandemic,
Mhm.
and we had to take care of our own. And we had to be open 24/7 to
Yes.
provide essential financial services to the public.
Okay.
And we did that by reshaping our organization overnight.
Just to clarify, it says here that there's a proposed 2% of GDP allocation for core defense that will be financed under the measure. Is this accurate? And presently, what is the percentage of GDP
Okay.
allocation
For
for
core-
the DND?
For core, it's about 0.8.
0.8
For core,
for core.
however,
defense,
ma'am,
yes.
I'm open to like a scheme of New Zealand where they will gradually introduce to core of 2% of core GDP, 2%
Of
of
GDP.
GDP core defense
Yeah.
spending after 8 years. Can't really be done overnight.
Okay, so that's clear.
Ma'am, I think the distinguished co-chairperson is here.
Recognize Senator Ronald De La Rosa.
His imposing presence, ma'am.
Yes, perhaps Senator De La Rosa first would like to, first of all, thank you for giving me quorum, and please, I moved earlier that the rules of the committee be adopted. I would be happy if you will second the motion. Thank you.
Yeah, I second the motion, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Another request of this representation would be for the both of us to co-author the measure which we are discussing, which is the DND proper transformation bill. It's new to us. It's never been heard. We're listening to the secretary to explain to us this DND transformation bill. After you've studied it, I would be happy if you could co-author it with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. We're presently asking about the 2% of GDP allocation for core defense. Right now, it's 0.8%. You
Yes,
said,
ma'am. About
yes.
0.8, and
And
the
we
total
don't-
is about 1.34 for even for non-core.
Okay. And we see that it doesn't have to be immediately
No,
after
ma'am.
the passage of
The-
the measure. It can be within 8
Yes, ma'am.
years.
We,
Okay.
with a financially crafted program.
Mhm.
Actually, that was a put in of our staff that wanted a notional and an aspirational level of spending that the country should have done a long time ago.
Please explain to us, Secretary, how will the Corps of National Defense Specialists be recruited? How will they be trained, retained, retrained, so that this will not be redundant with the
The most
existing-
important thing, ma'am, are two things. Number one, of course, aside from the monetary benefits, which are substantial, no, it's the career track and growth pathways to them. So we will design an organization that will have clear career path trackways for them. Third are the educational opportunities, actually. And for specialized defense, you cannot have it locally. You gotta place them elsewhere.
Do you need the law to be able to have
Yes,
defense
ma'am.
specialists trained abroad? What
Yes,
if we
ma'am.
must fund it? We can fund it under GAA even without the existing.
Ma'am, I think
measure.
then GAA, it will be dependent also on availability of funds. Plus, I mean, there's a tendency also to democratize and to make it a politicized education, in the sense that if you, for example, there was an AFP regulation which I repealed, that if you already have a foreign schooling, you cannot undertake another. But what if you have an excellent MA degree and it's ripe for a doctoral dissertation? Why can you not continue? Sayang eh. So those are the things that are not apropos. Secondly, there are minimum SG levels for getting education. I don't recall what they are. But actually, we have to invest on the younger ones with lower SG levels, because their minds are still fresh and you want to shape and mold those minds. Secondly, ma'am, we also will consider the specialization skills, like the DND. I will equate the Department of National Defense to and the managerial skills required to enterprise management, because you're actually managing a ma'am, sir, Mr. Senator, good afternoon.
Yes, just interrupt your presentation or your explanation. We recognize the chairman of the Finance Committee, but remember, this is a standing committee, but he will listen. And if there are financial requirements for the passage of the measure, then good, the chairman is
This
here.
week too, ma'am.
Thank you.
We have a hearing this week, so I'll reserve our comments, ma'am, for him especially. So, ma'am, it's an enterprise, actually, and enterprise managerial system that you need to lay down, because you have health services, retirees, you have disaster risk management, you have munitions productions, you have supervision over the armed forces under you. So you have to have the appropriate support organizations in order to support the managerial needs of these agencies, and we want these agencies to be our clientele. We also need, for example, ma'am, contracting, the ability to contract. We need to have the ability of engaging top-notch law firms without having to bid it out. We lose billions of pesos because of faulty contracting in government. So we need those abilities. We have to have the ability of engaging our audit firms for managerial audits without having to go to through the ringer of a COA. And lastly, and most importantly, the qualification will be security vetting, operational security. And we need to have specialized rules for oversight, for discipline, and for tenure in the national security sense. We were working with Senator Sherwin very closely on certain things, and he was exposed to the leakages that compromise national security that we have to face internally also. Since the knowledge, since the technology, since the skills and information that will be passed will be potentially damaging to our institutions, to reputations, and to the security of a private citizen. So we really have to have specialized skills and security cover and specialized tenurial arrangements for this organization.
This is just a broad explanation of this proposed bill
Yes, ma'am.
emanating from the DND. It's never been heard. We will conduct a separate hearing
Yes, ma'am.
for this measure, but it's clear among the organizations present here, especially the DND, that this, among all the dozens of filed measures, is the priority.
Yes, ma'am. And
Yes.
it's the most
Okay.
difficult. That's why it's
Para lang maliwanag, ito ang dami. Yes, no, but there are other
Isabay
bills.
ko na, ma'am, yung isang hindi priority na napag-usapan
No, that's
po
why
natin.
I wanted you, rather than us dictating on the
Yeah.
DND and the military establishment what is the most important, because realistically, I can't imagine having all the bills filed,
Yeah.
enacted into law in the next 2.5 years. So ito, I'm convinced it's important, and I think with your assistance in trying to make us understand, and also giving us the financial requirements, if DBM agrees on the increased plantilla positions, we perhaps could enact
Yes,
it into law in the next several months. Yes, you can proceed to the
Ma'am, on
next.
wearing my other hat,
Mm-mm.
wala dito. It's the NDRIMC toning review that we agreed upon last year. We agreed that the NDRIMC law was visionary, ambitious, yet now with the benefit of experience, I have instructed the OCD just to concentrate on response. Response alone is difficult already. What more in the other areas of disaster risk reduction? So we'd like to simplify the NDRIMC Council. It's like a mini Congress right now. It's a bit unwieldy. The NDRIM Fund, I think we have found already canalized purposes for it. Number one is QRF really augmentation, especially for Secrex Gatchalian, who's at the forefronts. And
Before you proceed, we'd like to thank Senator Erwin Tulfo for joining us.
Thank
We
you, Sen.
recognize his presence. Yes, please proceed. Can you just kindly give us Section